Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double-up game, as most of my castings are. I am joined here by Antisocialmunky, and in this game we're going to be looking at one of the meta comps in this current patch, and probably something that's going to be at least playable throughout all of Set 9, and that is a team composition that mixes together Ionia and the Challenger traits. There is a great deal of internal synergy between these two traits. And as a result, they are almost always going to be played together. There's really been two comps that are being played in competitive right now. It's this comp, Ionia Challenger, featuring Yasuo Kaisa, and the other one is Shurima Strategist, featuring Azir, Lux, Jarvan, and who's the last one that gets played? Nasus are the four costs in that team comp. Okay, so right out of the gate here, we end up getting the Summit for our choice. And what is that one doing? Wow, I should look up what that one does. I just played this game and I already forget what this one does. All right, the summit is starting at stage 2, gain a champion duplicator at the start of each stage. So you get a champion duplicator at the beginning of each stage. This is a better portal if you are trying to make. It's generally a little bit better if you're playing a reroll team composition. And that is what Antisocialmunky is going to be doing in this game. He specializes in playing reroll team comps. And he's going to go for multicaster reroll because he hit the Sona immediately at the start of this game. I think he was trying to decide whether he was going to play that or if he was going to play the Tristana reroll. There's a lot of overlap between those two, but he's going to end up playing the multicaster reroll instead. And I'm going to do my best to try to feed him with units because that's one of the nice things about double up mode is you can try to get units for your partner. For me, I was trying to figure out what team composition I would want to play. I have 2 Aurelias, but I also have 2 Renekton's, and I also have a Cassiopeia here. So this could very definitely be a Shurima game as well. You'll have to excuse me, my voice is kind of off right now. Maybe not the greatest time to do a cast, but I'm trying to fit this in when I have a little bit of free time here. So anyway, I was trying to decide which of these two I might end up playing, and I still hadn't made up my mind as of this moment because I could go in either direction here. One issue, though, is I don't really have the items that I have are a little bit more conducive, I think, to playing into a Challenger Ionia team composition. You can see the game is even reminding me which that I should assign my items. Okay, so first augment here. Again, in this particular patch, this is the first patch of Set 9. Not the release version, but the first full patch. I am going to go ahead and keep taking Ezreal here because Ezreal is definitely overpowered in this patch. It's the stats and the data make this really, really strong. And I actually have a pretty good opener here to play this. So once I see the 2-star Aurelia, it just looks like it's a better opener for me to play this particular setup. So I will be going to the Ionia plus Challengers board here. Now, the downside is my only 2-star is Aurelia, and Aurelia is basically a frontline tank. I don't have any tank items, so I'm going to have to go ahead and put these items on somebody. And I think I end up putting them on Jhin, so I'm going to use Jhin as my temporary item holder here for holding items for a future Yasuo. So I'm just going to go ahead and look to make items right away. And I wanted to go ahead and slam some items for additional combat power. This is why the Ezreal Legend is really strong because you just get so much early game power. It makes it so much easier to get off onto a win streak. So I'm going to go ahead and make Infinity Edge and also make Titans, which are good items on Yasuo. The Titans in particular, i.e. maybe not quite as good, but definitely does amplify his damage a good bit. Basically on Yasuo, you want stuff for standard melee unit who is going to be like melee DPS. So Titans is good, Bloodthirster is good. What else? Edge of Night is good. You can also run Quicksilver Sash, although I don't think it's quite as strong on him. Hand of Justice is not bad, although not as good as Bloodthirster. So you get the idea. You want to amplify his damage. He needs some tankiness because he's a melee unit. And you do want some healing on him as well. That said, he can get some healing from his trait, from the Ionia trait, and that can help a fair bit. All right, I was able to find a Zed there, so that was able enough for me to get Ionia trait in. And as this is an Ionia game, I will go ahead and read the description for this trait. This is one of the big scaling vertical traits of Set 9. There are actually 8 Ionia units, so I think there's more of this trait than any other trait in the game, for this set at least. I could be wrong on that, but I think 8 is the most for any trait. So I'll read the description. Ionia, every 4 seconds, your strongest Ionians are enlightened to their spirit form and gain 20 mana. Each Ionian has a unique bonus within their ability which doubles when in spirit form. So Ionia 3 just gives you the standard Ionian Enlightened bonus, and one of your units is enlightened at a time. It is random which one goes enlightened, but every 4 seconds one of them goes enlightened. They get their extra bonus ability and gain 20 mana. When you get higher tiers of Ionia, Ionia 2 gives you a bigger bonus to the ability, and 2 units are enlightened at a time. Ionia 9 is you triple the bonus, and 3 of the units are enlightened at a time. But it's almost impossible to get Ionia 9 in. I've had it in one game, but it requires getting at least one emblem for Ionia and also getting up to level 9. So that's not going to happen too often in this set. Anyway, so I was able to send a 2-star Poppy over to Antisocialmunky a little bit earlier to give his board a little bit of early game strength. He sent me a Karma, and I'd rather play the Karma over the Zed. Not that either one is amazing at this point, but I think the Karma is a little bit better as a 2-cost instead of a 3-cost. Again, you will see one of my units gets the Enlightened bonus every 4 seconds, and then they have the bonus for the next 4 seconds. The one I probably want to get it the most on right now is Aurelia, just because she's my only 2-star unit that I'm playing right now. Aurelia's bonus is she gets extra armor and magic resist, 25 armor and 25 MR, which is pretty nice. Jin is the other one I want. Jin gets bonus attack damage. He gets 30% attack damage. Important for this game, Yasuo's bonus is he gets 15% Omnivamp. So that's why, even though you do want a healing item on Yasuo, it's not quite as important because he can get Omnivamp from his trait. Now, I would have loved to have gotten the Spatula there. Spatulas are really good for this team composition because you can make an Ionia emblem. The recipe is sword plus spatula. Or you can also make a challenger emblem, which is bow plus spatula. So you have double abilities to use spatulas. Unfortunately, I was not able to get that. So instead, what am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and take the belt, and that's going to allow me to put a Warmogs onto Aurelia, which is going to be nice because, again, what does she get from her Ionia Enlightened bonus? Well, she gets armor and magic resistance. So what does she want if she gets armor and MR from her ability? Well, she wants more health from itemization. So this is a nice item on her, and it's going to do a lot to make her tankier. All right, so again, I've gotten my last Ezreal item right now from that initial augment. I'll have the option to take another Ezreal augment on stage 3, and you really can see why it's just very hard to pick something other than them right now. We have a gold first augment. I guess I should mention the official name for the augment is Buried Treasure. You're guaranteed to have it show up if you pick Ezreal as your legend. So the gold version, which is the most common version, you get gold more than the other augments for the first option. It gives you 3 item components and also 3 gold, and it's just very hard to beat that in the early game. Not only do you get the components, which make you much stronger in the early game, you also get the gold as well, which will accelerate your economy. I mean, 3 gold doesn't make a huge difference, but still, 3 gold is 3 gold. It means that you hit those income breakpoints faster at 10 gold, 20 gold, 30 gold, etc. So you definitely do hit them at an earlier point in time. And, the item components make such a big deal in terms of giving you early game board strength. Normally, you start out with 3 components. You can sometimes have 2 or 1, but standard, you'll get 3 components. So if you think about that, if you have 3 components, that means that there are 2 finished items you can make at the beginning of the game. So, like, what did I have at the beginning of the game? I think I had a bow, a sword, and a glove. So I could make either Infinity Edge or I could make Giant Slayer. And I think that's all the possibility. I believe that's all the possibilities I could make. So you can make, like a couple of items based on what you get initially, a couple of finished items. But Ezreal gives you 3 more components, the gold version anyway. So you're going from 3 components up to 6 components, and the number of slammable items you can make just increases exponentially. I think you go from like 2 or 3 options up to like 20 options, something like that is how the math works. So it just increases your odds that you can make something really strong by a huge margin right out of the gate. And like I said, and in addition to that, powers up your board with additional gold too. So anyway, I get a pretty nice store here. I get a Warwick. Warwick is going to be played in this team composition most of the time. He's a challenger unit, and he also gives Juggernaut trait to the set as well. So it gives some additional front line. You may want to drop him later on, but he's usually going to be played on this board for most of the game. So I have 2 out of 3 Warwicks. I also have 2 out of 3 Zeds. Zed I will want to try to get up to Ionia 6 later on. The main question when you're playing this board is how many ranks of Ionia do you play? How many ranks of Challenger do you play? You definitely want both because, again, there's double internal synergy for this trait. Irelia is Challenger plus Ionia, and then Yasuo is also Ionia plus Challenger. So you definitely want to be playing both traits. The question is just like, how much of each trait do you want? Anyway, here I believe I'm going to get my send back. There it is. So I'm going to send a 2-star Talia over to Antisocialmunky. Remember, he's playing multicaster reroll, so he definitely is going to want that. Now I have a lesser champion duplicator, and I'm just going to use it immediately here on the Jhin. I had 2 out of 3 Jhins. Jhin has all of my DPS items, so it makes total sense for me to 2-star him. It's actually going to make a huge difference in terms of damage to make use of him. And this is a comp that does not try to 3-star cheap units. I'm not trying to 3-star like Irelia, although I mean you can, but it's not a comp that typically wants to do that. It's a comp that wants to get up to level 7, level 8, and find Yasuo Kaisa, the 4 cost there. So my goal is to push levels quickly, and Jhin is my main item holder, is going to be the strongest unit that I can play. Even though he's a 1 cost, he is my itemized unit. So using the champion duplicator that I can't use on Yasuo or Kaisa because it was a lesser champion duplicator, and using it to get him up to 2 stars makes a ton of sense. Jhin will fall off as a 1-cost unit, and he's not getting the benefit of Challenger trait, unfortunately. But he's still going to be the best item holder I can have for right now. Normally I would take Tiny Grab Bag here, but oh, Challenger Heart. I was like, Challenger Heart. Now that's pretty nice. So the standard and it's actually going to give me another Warwick as well, so it's going to make Warwick 2-star. Give me a little bit of additional frontline. And then I will level and go ahead and play the Samira. And so that gets me up to 4 Challenger. So since I said this is a team composition that's based on Ionia and Challenger, I already discussed Ionia. Let's go ahead and cover Challenger here as well. Now this is a trait that is back from previous sets. Basically, this is an attack speed trait. Challengers gain bonus attack speed. The big thing about this trait is it's a reset-based trait. So I'll read it. Challengers gain bonus attack speed. When their target dies, challengers dash to a new target and increase their attack speed bonus by 50% for 2.5 seconds. So it starts right now in this patch, it starts at 30% attack speed. I went up to 4 challengers, so it doubled to 60% attack speed. And again, the big thing is that bonus goes up when you get a kill. So it's a reset-based trait. So after a kill for the next 2.5 seconds, it's not 60% attack speed, it's 90% attack speed. And of course, that makes a big difference. This was a very popular trait in set 6. I had a lot of fun running this in set 6 back when it was Yasuo plus... Who was the other unit? Fiora. It was Yasuo Fiora were the 4-cost challengers in that set. Now, Kaisa, so in this set, it is Yasuo and Kaisa are both 4-cost challengers. So again, you got a lot of overlap here, although Kaisa is not an Ionian unit, unlike the rest of these other units. So the standard version of this board typically will play 6 Ionia 4 challenger, 6 Ionia 4 challenger. The increase from 4 Challenger to 6 Challenger is actually not that big. It only goes from 60% attack speed to 95% attack speed. Again, at least in this patch, all numbers subject to change. But by getting that Challenger Heart, that gives me 1 free rank of Challenger. I think I can probably get up to 6 Challenger. And so I'll be looking to play 6 Challenger, 6 Ionia in this game. I think that I can make good use of that. Anyway, so my board has spiked here pretty good. And that is after I was able to get up to the 4 Challenger. This is more of kind of an early game, mid-game trait. The Challengers will fall off in the late game unless you can 3-star something. And that's because there's no 5-cost Challengers. So as I said, this is a board that's very strong early game, mid-game. It does fall off a bit late game because, as I said, there's no 5 costs in this team composition. You can play Ari because she is a 5-cost Ionia unit, but she doesn't get any benefit from Challenger trait. So she's kind of a late game, put her in for a better Ionian unit than, I don't know, someone like Jhin. But it's still not kind of super crucial to the team composition. Anyway, we've been win streaking quite a bit. I believe that we've only lost 1 round of the whole game so far because we're on 99 HP. And so we've been able to take a decent amount of health out of the lobby so far. I went ahead and grabbed a glove here because I wanted to do something with this tier, and I figured I could make a Hand of Justice with that, which is a solid item for Yasuo. Again, it's not his best item. A Bloodthirster is better. But I already made the, excuse me, I already made the Infinity Edge, so there's actually a lot of synergy here to get more crit chance. I think I've already capped on crit chance, but it will give me additional crit damage once you get up to 100% crit chance. So normally, Bloodthirster definitely better for Yasuo, but since I've already made the Infinity Edge and I'm playing into this crit build, it means the Hand of Justice is pretty good anyway. We also had the first gift round for double up there, and Antisocialmunky was able to send me a spatula. You almost always will want the spatula if you're playing a double up game and you're playing this team composition. Again, I mentioned before, double makeable emblems for this team. The spatula, if you get a sword, can be an Ionia emblem. And if you get a bow, it can be a Challenger emblem. So Challenger emblem or Ionia emblem, both are great. Both make the team stronger. I think I would prefer an Ionia emblem here because then I can slap that on Kaisa, turn her into an Ionian unit as well. And I can probably play 6 Ionia, 6 Challenger without too much difficulty if I can turn her into an Ionia unit. But as a fallback, I would not mind I would not mind getting another Challenger as well. Then it would make it very easy to play 6 Challenger if I get another +1 Challenger in addition to the augment that's giving me +1 Challenger. All right, so I was able to win that round. We're still on the big win streak. I am on 8-match win streak, so I guess I haven't lost a round yet. I think Antisocial lost 1, but we're both pretty rich. Or we're both pretty rich here. Oh no, I lost the first round of the game. Excuse me. So I have not won every round. I lost the first round of the game. Now I have the chance to send something back to ASM. I can send him a completed item anvil, Tome of Traits, and Reforger spatula, or 2 tier 3 champs. I believe he takes the spatula here. His multicaster reroll comp is not benefit quite as much from the spatula, but he can get a tier and make someone into a Sork. And I believe that Sona is the unit you usually turn into a sorcerer. He could probably play 4 sorcerers if he goes that route. Although I'm trying to see, he took a while to pick here. I had to go through the options a second time. Or does he take the Tome of Traits? Oh, he took the Tome of Traits. Okay. Interesting. Now, in any case, I also have a Warwick here, so we have a very realistic chance to 3-star Warwick. Again, Warwick 3-star not super important in this team comp, but if I'm going to keep getting fed Warwicks by the other team, I might as well try to grab them. Now, normally Antisocialmunky would be able to grab some Warwicks. He's rolling for 2 costs and 3 costs, so he has very good odds to find these. The problem is he actually took an augment that may have been a bit of a grief on his end. He took Pandora's Bench, and that means the 3 slots on the right-hand side of his bench are going to be re-rolled each round via Pandora's Bench. And the problem is he's just running out of bench space because he needs to try to 3-star some of his units. So that means he's holding a lot of units on his bench. Plus the 3 slots on the right-hand side are getting re-rolled every round. So yeah, he does not really have space to try to pick up Warwicks for me. But this is a good round for me. I'm going to hit Zed 2-star, and then I'm also going to hit Set 2-star. I'm going to go ahead and use my Send on Swain. It's actually important to use the Send right now because if we wait another round, it'll transform into from the lesser form into the I don't know, full form, greater form. I don't know what the term for that is. The initial version can only send 1, 2, and 3 cost champs, but it cools down every 4 turns. After stage 4 begins, you can send anything, but then it has a 7-turn cooldown, so it's much longer. All right, and then I hit the jackpot here on this round. I get another spatula. I was like, okay, well, I was going to play into I was going to look to make either a was it an Ionia emblem or a Challenger emblem? But I'll just make the Tactician's Crown instead. I think that's better. And then look at these items. I get the items for a Dragon's Claw and a Bramble Vest. I was like, okay, I'm happy to do that. And by the way, there's the next champion duplicator. By the way, I have another lesser champion duplicator. So, I'm actually only 2 off Warwick 3-star because I can lesser champion duplicate him. I guess I could use the greater champion duplicator too, but I'd rather save that for Kaisa and Yasuo in this team comp. So I get to go add 2 additional units. I put in the 2-star Zed. Now this gets me to 5 Ionia. I really want to get to 6 Ionia. That will require hitting either Yasuo or Shen, or I guess technically Ari, although that's pretty unlikely because she's a 5 cost. So I'm really, really hoping I can find like a Yasuo here or a Shen. Either one would spike me pretty hard because going from 5 Ionia to 6 Ionia is a pretty big boost. That said, I have an awful lot of 2-stars on my board. I believe every single unit's 2-starred except Karma. So I've been hitting pretty hard here on the Ionia units. And the big reason for that is no one else is playing this team composition. By the way, Antisocial got nothing but, he got 1 billion rods this game. Like literally 1 million different rods. So, I mean, rods are not bad for his team composition, but what he really wanted was a tier. He was kind of struggling to get tiers here. I'm also getting a lot of Zeds, but I'm already holding for Warwick 3-star, so I don't want to try to go for Zed 3-star as well. Although Zed 3-star would probably be better because he actually is an Ionia unit and Warwick is not. All right, for my last option there, I decided I would take the Edge of Night because Edge of Night's really good on Yasuo. And oh, wow, I reroll one time and I hit a Shen. So, boom. Okay, now we'll just go up to the 6 Ionia and I'll continue to hold Warwicks on my bench. I do want to find Yasuo, but I think I'm strong enough now to go to level 8 and roll on 8 because I think my board is strong enough for the time being. And I'd rather roll on 8 than roll on 7. But to get back to the point from before, inexplicably, no one is playing this comp in the lobby. It's like the single most popular comp right now on in like the competitive scene on the ladder. And yet, for some reason in this lobby, no one was playing the Ionia Challenger build. So I'm completely uncontested on Yasuo. I think someone's playing Kaisa in like a different team composition, but Yasuo is completely uncontested, which is just nutty that no one is playing this unit. So I was like, all right, I will happily. I don't feel the need to roll on 7 because no one's going to take Yasuo's out of the pool. So I'll go to 8 and I'll roll on 8 where my odds are better. And hey, I already have 6 Ionia, 4 Challenger in anyway. So yeah, as mentioned before, the 6 Ionia benefit gives your. It means that you get a bigger benefit to the Enlightened bonus. I believe it doubles instead of being the standard bonus. So yeah, it doubles. So like Yasuo I mentioned has 15% Omni Vamp. But when you have Ionia 6 in, it's 30% Omnivamp because the benefit doubles. And it's 2 units at a time are getting the bonus, not just 1. So let's see who ends up getting it here. Again, I would like Jin to get it. Jin and Aurelia are the ones I want. The other units are kind of trait bots for the most part, but Aurelia is fully itemized. I would like to transfer those items over to Shen later on. I'd like it to be Jin, and oh, look at that. Jin did actually end up rolling in at the start of the fight. It is random who gets it, so it does not prioritize like your strongest unit as some of the traits do in this game. As I said, it's pretty much just random. Wow, Jin's crit just like took out the whole front line. Now, the problem is this person did hit a 3-star Swain, so that's looking pretty strong. Do I have enough to finish this off? Jin does have the Hodge, so look, he was able to heal off that. Does he have enough damage though? No, not quite enough. He has that very slow animation on his cast. By the way, I should have picked up that Jin in case I want to sell and replace Jin, but probably will not be playing Jin as soon as I find Yasuo, unless I would somehow be able to get up to Ionia 9, and that does not seem likely. Anyway, there's another spatula here, so I would love to take that, but is it going to get taken? Amazingly, it's still there. I was like, oh, can I take that? And oh, I did not end up taking it. I ended up taking the Kaisa. I don't know if that was a mistake or not. I probably should have just taken the spatula. Yeah, I think in retrospect that was a mistake, but we do only have one more minion round here, so there is the possibility I could get stuck with a dead spatula. So I guess that's why I didn't take that. I also make, I think, a mistake here. I go ahead and level to 8 and play the Kaisa. I think I was just thinking let's play Kaisa, but as soon as I got to level 8, I was like, wait a minute, I can't really sell the Jin. As you see, ASM hit 3-star Vel'Koz. I was like, I can't really sell the Jin. I need him for 6 Ionia, so I can't transfer items. And honestly, it's probably better playing these items on Jin than on Kaisa anyway. Most of Jin's items are intended for Yasuo anyway. He was originally going to have all of Yasuo's items, but now that I've hit this Edge of Night, I want to put the Hand of Justice on Kaisa instead, so that she has some innate healing off her Hand of Justice. So I think that was a big mistake. I should have just saved my gold and gone to level 8 after the minion round, because I went all the way down to 8 gold and now I have no gold to roll on level 8. So that was pretty stupid because putting in Kaisa did not actually make my board stronger. By the way, Jin boop is going to go ahead and pop the 3-star Viego, and so yeah, we're able to win that fight narrowly. So we lost a little health here, but it's not like we're in any danger of being low on HP in the lobby. So I really do think I should have been more patient there. Now, it's worthwhile to do that leveling if it's going to make your board much stronger, but it didn't make my board stronger. I just have Kaisa in, and she's not really doing anything. So, well, a mistake. Good thing to watch these games so that in retrospect you can see what mistakes you made. I did get my send back, so I'm going to send the 2-star Sona over there to Antisocial. He is close now on the Kled, and he's getting closer on the Sona as well. There he goes. He just hit the Teemo. He is actually on 8 Sonas because he just did not pick up the send, which you can avoid doing, by the way, because he was out of bench space. So he just didn't pick up the send, but all he needs is one more Sona for Sona 3-star. So he now has 3-star Talia, 3-star Teemo, and 3-star Vel'Koz, and he's one off Sona 3-star. So his board is about to spike really hard because he's going to hit like the 3-star version of all of his multicasters. And yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to be pretty good. So he's going to start winning these rounds. I feel like my board is pretty good, but I think his board is starting to accelerate past mine. And the good news is I've been able to help him out a good bit in this game. I've had some really good sends, I think, over to him. The 2-star Poppy early to stabilize him, and then we sent what a Swain. We sent a 2-star Talia and a 2-star. What do you call it? 2-star Sona as well. So a lot of good sends there. Okay, here I got a second Shen. So I was like, all right, I'll transfer my tank items over to Shen because he is a better tank overall than the Aurelia. Aurelia's getting a little old to be a frontline tank at this point, but I still do need to play her because she is Ionia plus Challenger. The only unit I really need now is a Yasuo. I definitely need to roll and find a Yasuo so I can get these items on him. There's a Callista. I should have saved the Callista. That should replace the Samira because it's a better unit than the Samira. All right, anyway, so now we're going to roll and see what we can hit here. I have another champion duplicator. I believe it is the lesser one. So there we go. We're going to make that replacement. And there we go. 6 Challenger, 6 Ionia in there right now. So I'm going to put these items on Yasuo, and now I've got items for Kaisa. Pretty nice leftover items. I'm able to make a, what do you call it? A Jeweled Gauntlet, which is not bad for last options. It's especially good here because I get attack speed from my traits. And I'm going to go ahead and I took the Karma off the board, but I actually do want to keep her on there because she does give me Invoker trait along with having Shen in there. So I definitely want to play both of them for Invoker. And it's actually Zed is the unit that should come out now. I know Zed is 2-starred, but I don't really need him on the board anymore because what is he giving me? I think he's just giving me Ionia. And of course I could get Ionia from Ari as well. So the play now is I think take out Zed and play the Ari instead. Does not look like I'm going to have much of a chance to get to level 9 here. So I have, what, two real champion duplicators and then one lesser champion duplicator. The lesser one I'd like to use for Warwick. The greater ones I'd like to use on either Yasuo or Kaisa. I also am one off Shen, so I'm hoping I can just find one more Shen. And there we go. We're going to do that replacement there. This actually gives me slightly more gold to roll with. Well, no, actually, I sold for 3 and then gained 3. All right, this is another gift round from Antisocialmunky, so I'm going to go ahead. I think I take a item anvil, yeah. And I was looking for a last item for Kaisa. And I was like, oh, Rageblade. Rageblade did get nerfed in this patch, but it's still a pretty good item on her. The relative value is lower in this. It is lower here in this team composition because I'm getting a ton of attack speed from the Challenger trait innately. So Rageblade is a little bit less necessary. And there we go. I am, in fact, going to sell the Zed and move into the Ari. I need to get Yasuo moved up on the front lines a little bit. There we go. So now my board's looking pretty solid. I still have one more champion duplicator to try and get either Kaisa 2-star or Shen 2-star. And there's also the possibility that Antisocialmunky could send me them, but he just has not had bench space to hold units for me, like, at all. And it's worked out just fine because this board is actually really strong. He has the strongest board in the lobby right now. Of course, I have a Tactician's Crown. I'm 6 Challenger, 6 Ionia, with 9 units in. So I'm pretty strong too, but I do think his board is a little bit stronger because he actually has 4-star Teemo, and we're going to knock one of the other teams out of the lobby there. Actually, 2 of the 3 teams in the lobby got knocked out. So we're immediately going down to just 2 units here. All right, well, I actually had a phone call there that interrupted my recording, so I'm picking back up with another recording here. As I was saying, we were knocked down to just 2 teams in the lobby, ourselves and this other team on 5 HP. So I am going to go ahead and I send the Tome of Traits and Reforger over to Antisocialmunky. Now, this looks like we pretty much have this game sealed up, but there is a little bit of RNG. Maybe not RNG, but there is still kind of one challenge we have to deal with, and that's the fact that one of these teams just hit a 3-star Gwen. So they are playing a Slayer's team composition, or 4 Shadow Owls, 4 Slayer, with Gwen as their featured unit. And they did manage to 3-star the Gwen, so, I mean, that's a 3-star 4-cost unit. And that means that comp's going to spike super duper hard. So, there is the possibility that they could just keep win streaking here in the lobby. And, eventually cut through all of this health that we have banked. So in a worst case scenario, we're guaranteed a 2nd place spot. But, we do actually want to try to win this lobby if we can. The Gwen has really good itemization as well. Titans plus Hand of Justice plus Bloodthirster. I don't know that we can ever kill that unit since it's Gwen 3-star. Now, here's the good news. Once again, this is a 2-player game mode. So that means that we don't have to beat the Gwen 3-star. We can still win the lobby just by beating their partner. And Antisocialmunky beat their partner pretty easily. The other person's running a Piltover team composition that I don't think is especially great overall. By the way, I probably should, out of these options, I took the Warmog. In retrospect, I think I should have taken the Invoker emblem and just put it on Ari so she generated more mana. I think that would have been better. But anyway, I take this so I can put on a frontliner. And anyway, I was hoping I could find another Shen or Kaisa so I could duplicate the other one. But since I wasn't able to find one, I go ahead and use this on the Kaisa, who I think is the more important unit. I think I have decent frontline, even though Shen's 1-star. Really disappointed I haven't been able to find another Shen in this lobby yet, but it is what it is, right? And I'm still stuck on the 6 Warwicks, so I've been on 6 Warwicks for ages. I wish I'd been able to find some more, but if we can win this round, then we win the lobby. So my goal is to try to beat this person. Again, ASM is up against the 3-star Gwen, so my job is to try to beat this player. Again, they do have a 4-star Tristana, but I don't think Trist items are that amazing on there. The Gunblade is not quite what you're looking for. So we've actually managed to cut through everything except the Trist. And then Yasuo jumps on. I'm like, oh, come on, can we finish off this Vi? And yes, we can. So that's the end of the lobby. Again, it being a 2-player mode. Oh, by the way, look at our 2 little Feather Knights hanging out here, celebrating together. It's always cute when you have the same little legend, or the same type of little legend at least, and they can celebrate as a team there. So anyway, this has happened in a lot of our games. There might be someone who's a board that's unbeatable, but it is, like I say in a lot of these videos, it's a 2-player mode, so if you can knock out one of the players, even if you can't beat the other one, it can be enough to get the win. Anyway, this was a pretty easy game. I wanted to just show what this team composition looks like because it's so popular on the ladder. It is much more contested in most games. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Until next time, take care, folks.